Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel, and thanks for joining us for another video. And guess what? Sky Sports are targeting a Manchester United player who's 19 years of age, trying to destroy his career and confidence already. For guess what? Just looking over at a linesman. How pathetic can you get? Get involved and have your say in today's chat, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. You've seen the clip on the analysis, or so-called analysis, from Thierry Henry on Sky Sports, Monday Night Football. You take it away and let me know your thoughts.
Well, this wasn't a football analysis. This was a clear attempt by the producers and the directors of Sky Sports to destroy Leny Yoro, 19 years of age. Look, he's not had a good time at United, been injured and that. He's getting back into the team and that. But Sky Sports keep sinking lower and lower into the gutter. No wonder we see loads of comments over time about Sky Sports and the media and what their agenda is and that. It was absolutely disgusting. And the way Henry and Carragher carried on last night, it was sickening. I flicked through the TV, caught it just in time, and I just had to turn it off. I was disgusted with it. And I'm sure many, many people out there feel the same way.
Like the account on Twitter, what I've got up on screen has stated that it is very normal, let's face it, for a defender to look over at a linesman once a goal's been scored as a natural reflex. And for him to turn around and say he's never seen that before, it's just an out-and-out liar.
Well, it seems that way. He lapped it up. He was told by the producers and the directors, this is what we're going at, and we're targeting him. And he gleefully used as much abuse as he could, followed by Carragher, who had a big smile on his face, gloating over it and everything. But I just look at it and I think, well, if you're analysing the game, then why didn't you analyse players not running back to help out the defence, or players to stand in front? He clearly, in my opinion and Kieran's opinion, was looking over at the linesman. He had no help. He's a young lad. He's playing in a bad side and all that. But to do what they did, the whole programme, the people behind it, and Henry and Carragher, they should apologise for what they did. It was gutter. That's how far it was. Gutter, sink, scum. That's how I seen it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people out there see it the same as well, targeting a 19-year-old kid, his own countryman as well.
That's baffling, that.
Yeah, in Leny Yoro as well. First season in the Premier League, first season at a new club, away from his homeland. You know, had his struggles early on in the season, being injured. You know, as we all know, he's trying to get that rhythm, that fitness there. And you've got to look back at that Southampton game. He had a really, really tough time here at Old Trafford. But ever since then, to me, he's knuckled down and he's given some really, really steady and good performances.
Well, I look at Leny Yoro. There were stats on him. I think it was last week, to be honest with you. 10 out of 10 tackles, 10 out of 10 won. So, you know, the kid's got talent. We all know that. But he's playing in a bad side. You know, like I say, he had a difficult time. He's getting used to the team. But the team's poor. But listen, you tune in to the media, to Sky and other channels and that, to listen to football talk. But this wasn't football talk. And that's why it's turning me off and turning lots of people off, because they've got agendas. And the only agenda what's out there is to hate on Man United in any way possible. Big smiles on the faces and everything, but it's getting too much now. They're obviously looking for an audience what hates Man United, so they can get clipped up and everything else like that. That, to me, it's not football talk, this. This is just like them two there last night, Carragher and Henry, two clowns, two absolute clowns, and everyone who produced it, they're clowns. But I'll tell you what, I look at it this way, and I think Manchester United should look at it. You know, that's not opinion, what they were given.
With what you're just saying about Manchester United there, sorry to interrupt, but the amount of interviews the likes of Ruben Amorim is doing, it seems as though it's on a weekly basis, inviting the likes of Sky Sports in at Carrington to do these interviews. Surely at some point there's got to be someone who pulls some of them aside from the producing team at Sky Sports and go, enough is enough now.
Well, it's an agenda they've got. So I've seen reporters come into United. He's done it, Fergie. Get him out, get him out. Doesn't like what they're doing. They've got agendas, okay? But this is a clear agenda. It couldn't be more clear. It was the worst piece of football talking I've seen. you know, some people say, oh, it's just a chat, it's an analysis. That wasn't an analysis. That was set up by Sky Sports to go in at Man United and go in on that kid. And you can't have that. You tune in, right, to the media, right, to get a balanced view and everything. That wasn't balanced. That was people going on and on and on. And they were told to do that. They were told to play up to the cameras. And them two idiots played up to the cameras. Well, more fool them. Because to delete what they put out, right, tells you they know it's wrong. They know there could be repercussions. And I do believe Manchester United should go in, at least give them a written warning and say, anymore, you will not have the access, the privileged access to Manchester United, because that's what makes this Premier League Manchester United. Without Manchester United, this Premier League's nothing. People out there might turn around and differ with an opinion on that. But I do seriously believe they should be warned now to watch what they're doing and have a balanced view, because there is no balanced out there from the media anymore. It's just attack, let's get on it. And last night, I keep saying it, they sunk so low. For me, it's over.
Yeah, we're talking obviously from a United perspective here about Leny Yoro, but I get a feeling as well, in a sense, out there, it's not just United fans. I think there's a lot of other fans from other clubs that are actually getting a bit sick of the punditry and the analysis, especially from Sky Sports on their own football teams as well. It's like they're just trying to farm clicks for social media, whereas in my opinion, it's targeting young and impressionable young kids as well.
Yeah, there's no balance for opinions and that. They just go out for the attack and that. And
Sound bites.
Sound bites. That's not what I've always tuned in for. I want to hear proper analysis. I want to hear people's opinions and that. But you've got people in the background. You know, a lot of people turn around and say, "You're watching the TV now. It's all woke." Now, whatever you make of woke is whatever you make of it. But I just look at it and think to myself, they are targeting a certain demographic of the audience out there. And they're ignoring the football fans. And I do see football fans right round the country going at Sky Sports and other media outlets and that. Because we're being ignored. We're not being given proper football analysis. You're given sound bites, and that's how poor TV is. And no wonder people are turning off Sky Sports, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Andy Gray and Richard Keys looking at this now, the way it's sinking, the punditry and analysis, they might be thinking they might be getting their old jobs back because of how poor it's becoming at Sky Sports, in my opinion. But just to give you a bit of context around that and that analysis from Henry, Sky Sports posted the actual clip on X, which was formerly Twitter, with a laughing emoji which was captioned, "When you hear someone open a packet of crisps," which was amplifying the mocking tone. After significant backlash, they then deleted the clip, Sky Sports, from X, but it still remains on YouTube and Instagram. Carragher also reportedly deleted his response with weeping emojis on that tweet as well.
Well, that's the thing. They were mocking a 19-year-old player, trying to destroy him for clicks and laughter. Okay, that's not football. That's not football chat, not football analysis. But clearly, right, by deleting all that social media items they put out, right, they had the agenda, laughing, mocking. You don't do that as a media channel, mocking players, especially young players. And Henry, you just mentioned it before, fellow countrymen. Now, I look at Henry and I say to myself, well, listen, there's a lot of people, all right, in the Republic of Ireland what hate your guts, son. Right, for what you did. You cheated in football. So there's where you are, Henry, you know, and doing this. He's not a football pundit, you know, but that's what we're getting. We're getting poor punditry, poor comments. I think it's shameful to attack a player like that. Any player to highlight that, you know.
It's just lazy. And like I mentioned before, it's there for the sole purpose to be clipped up, to be put on social media like it has been done, to target young and unimpressionable kids. or impressionable kids.
Well, that's the problem. You've not just got it on TV. You've got it all over. You've got United fans doing exactly the same thing, you know, coming out with clicks. They just want the clicks. Sky Sports have just gone for the clicks. It's not a sports channel. It's, to me, I've got to say this, kid. Year after year, I've been looking at Sky Sports and I keep turning it off. I don't go to it. I used to go to it as my main channel, and lots of people are doing the same because there's not really anything there for the football fan anymore. There's not really anything there. And then you watch it and it comes out with a story and then it keeps repeating. But these pundits now, these ex-footballers from all over, not just United, not just Liverpool, not just Henry, all these ex-footballers now, they're all going the same way. And it's shameful. It is to target people, to try and humiliate and laugh and make it sound as though it's funny. You go to your football pundit, right, for serious football content. This ain't serious football content. This is childish playground stuff, okay, aimed at one demographic, and that's young, impressionable kids.
I mean, if you to look at the clip from what we've just put up on screen before, which I think all of you have seen, I did remember watching the game, I've got to be honest with you, watching it live, and I did think to myself, at that split second, I thought, Yoro did hesitate to come over. But let's have it right, whether you're a United fan or a Liverpool fan or Newcastle or whoever around the UK. If you've got a 19-year-old lad in your team, whether it's at centre-back or centre-forward, they're not the complete player. They're going to make mistakes. But then to analyse in their way and mock a player who's 19 years of age the way they did, I think it's an absolute disgrace. I really do.
Well, analysing that just piece of football there, where were the runners? Why weren't they chasing back, following players and all that? Why weren't they sort of saying this was what was happening all of the second half? Players jogging about. I mean, I thought Leny Yoro had a decent game considering what was going on around him. Yeah. Players not running, players not helping the back four out. They sort of give up. They wouldn't run back and chase and all that. You know, and like you say, a young lad there. I'm shocked at it, right? And I'm loathed to watch Sky Sports now, and I've even been loath to stop listening to the commentary now. I turn it off.
He actually does, you know.
I do. I turn it off. Well, I can't stand it. I can't stand some of them. There's only one or two I do like to listen to throughout the football world. But for me, more and more people are getting turned off because this type of thing, right, is disgusting. It is not acceptable in any form when you're talking football and you're discussing it.
And you can actually understand why as well, about the standards, in my opinion as well, and a lot of other opinions, that, you know, the standard of analysis is slowly or quickly going down and down from Sky Sports. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there tuning away, stop paying the subscriptions now for Sky Sports and things like this. You can actually understand why. But the one thing that come into my head after seeing this morning was how Ruben Amorim is now going to come out, because he will be asked about it in press conferences. You can surely bet your hat on that. You can bet your life on it that he will do, because others will want to get on the click farming of that. So for me, Ruben Amorim is an honest man. Will he come out and put a few things straight?
Yeah, but he shouldn't come out and say anything. It's nothing to do with what he's doing as a manager. This will be more people jumping on the bandwagon, more media. So when there is a media scrum coming along and these things are asked, he should just stand up and just scream blue murder at them and going, are you a journalist or are you just someone who's looking for clicks, and go right at them? It's nothing to do. When people like this, when a TV channel like Sky Sports goes at someone like this isn't about football. This is about agenda and a policy. And what the policy is in Sky Sports is more woke than I've ever seen at any time.
Yeah, Conrad has just gifted 5 memberships.
Thank you.
Nice one, Conrad. And the 5 people who've been gifted them memberships, give a big thank you to Conrad. He did also say just before that you couldn't do this in the workplace, but it's okay to do this on national TV. How's that? I won't say the last word, but I totally agree with you, mate.
It was hate.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. That was hate. Hate on a player. That was a TV channel hating on a player, picking on a player, for no reason. That wasn't football talk.
No, it is, agree. And when I'm looking back over it, you know, what Sky Sports actually produce in analysis during or after the game, I'll only ever see anything on social media from Sky what's got to do with Roy Keane on it. I don't agree with everything that he says, but 90% of what he does say, specifically on Manchester United, I do agree with. But apart from that, I don't see much out there where you're getting actually value for sitting there and listening to anything that's put out, apart from Roy Keane, really.
I wouldn't mind Roy Keane went in, but he went in on a measured tone this weekend.
Yeah.
I listened to Roy Keane, I thought, he's calmed down, but he's giving a good analysis and he's giving a good opinion. That was this weekend, and I thought to myself, fair play to you, Roy. You're not ranting and raving, but he might look at it and say, well, there's no point ranting and raving. I'm seeing this week after week, and we're all seeing it week after week. So he gave a good analysis and all that. And then these turned it, probably because Roy didn't scream and shout and was fuming and gave a measured tone. They had to find something, and probably that's what the producers and the editors did. They needed something. It's their flagship show on a Monday night. And these two clowns, right, just jumped on it and just went for it full leather. They will be embarrassed by this, okay? And I think they will have questions to answer about it all. And I think the whole set up at Sky Sports will have questions, and they need answering, to be honest, because it was hateful.
Yeah, you've got to look back. Like I say, I do agree with 90% of Roy Keane says. A lot of you might differ with that, but one thing that I didn't like from Roy Keane was on the overlap, where he just went on a full hatred rant, in my opinion, on Bruno Fernandes. But I think Bruno Fernandes handled that well, especially in his performances since that. And just going into the chat then, it's a good point that's been made by Red Monkey. It's no coincidence it comes after a vital Leny Yoro goal in Europe away to Lyon last week. They all hate it whenever one of our players starts to do well. And that's a very good point, like we mentioned before. Since that Southampton game, where he was all over the place, let's be honest, Leny Yoro, you know, he's come back and he's been steady and putting good performances for me.
Well, the thing is...
He's such a young kid there, first season in the Premier League as well, physical.
Well, the thing is, he scored a goal, and it was a good goal. He directed it in well. And the thing is, you've got the game coming up on Thursday. So let's pile in on United. Let's upset them. Let's try and get unrest in there. Let's target United. Let's target a player. Let's cause some controversy. Let's laugh at them. Let's humiliate them, okay? Put more pressure on them. That's what that agenda was. Because come Thursday, it could all go up in the air if we lose. I don't think we'll lose. That's my opinion. But the thing is, the pressure's on. And doing this is just part of the pile on Thursday night. I can't wait, me. I can't wait. I can't wait to do that after match reaction when we've won, and then I just go in on all these clowns.
Fingers crossed we do win, and I'm sure you should get that notification on for that match reaction. But I mentioned earlier on about Ruben Amorim. I am interested to see what he comes out with directly at Thierry Henry because of this. Because if you listen to Amorim since he's walked through the door and he's been asked about Leny Yoro, he's the only one player that consistently has a smile on his face in describing not just the actual player but the person that is Leny Yoro. So he must be a really good character to have in that changing room as well.
Yeah, if he is asked the question, I hope he snaps. I hope he goes at the reporter, but also gives a comment about Henry, where he just turns around and says, the man is a disgrace. To attack a young footballer, a countryman like that, that's no place in football. I hope he goes at it, right, but tears into the person what dares to ask him the question.
Yeah, we've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes in there, Harry Maguire, De Ligt. I'd like to think as well that in the changing room, you know, fingers crossed, I hope so, that they're going over to Yoro to have a little bit of a chat about him. I mean, Harry Maguire's been there before. He's been on the receiving end of some of the worst hateful comments on social media that I've ever seen about a player. So he's in a position to understand where it becomes a bit of a, you know, a bit of a thing across social media, you know, a bit of a talking debate of what's gone on with Thierry Henry. So I'd like to think he'd give a bit of experience there to Yoro in how to handle things like that. And the best thing for Leny Yoro to do is do his talking on the pitch.
I don't think it'll be I don't think it should become an issue inside that dressing room. I think they all of them already know what the agenda is by the media, and they should all just stick 2 fingers up to them all and just tell Leny Yoro. And I think Leny Yoro will say himself that, hey, it don't faze me. I'll show what I am. I'm a footballer and I'm getting on with my career. I'm embarrassed for anyone coming out like that with what he did. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. I think, yes, they might rally round, but not try and make it a big thing in the media, because that's what the media wants. And I don't think United, as a club and as a team, should give him any more airtime on it. But if someone dares to ask, I hope that whoever the question's asked to, whether it's Ruben Amorim or any player or anything like that, they turn round and give him a right mouthful, because that's what they deserve.
Just like to thank you all for joining us today. Thought I'd just go over that Thierry Henry supposed so-called analysis, shall I say. I was stuck between 2 or 3 different words there, but I couldn't or didn't want to stay.
It was an attack, son.
Yeah, it was an attack. It's just disgraceful. It's shameful. Yeah. There's lots of other words which I was getting tongue-tied because some of it I didn't want to say in case there was any kids sat out there watching us right now. So
no swearing.
No swearing. No swearing.
No swearing. I felt like swearing.
Yeah, I have done a couple of times during this, but just like to thank you all for joining us again. We've got there in the end, but get that notification on, because we will be back tomorrow with another video. So stay tuned and smash that like button. Thanks all. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.